As a judoka, I always carry the samurai spirit with me. I always clean my room before a fight. This is because an arena is like a battleground. Judoka consider the fight to be a battle of life or death, and I always have that in mind. To lose is to die. To win is to live to fight another day. That's how I see judo. That mentality comes from the samurai tradition, and it has been with me through every stage of my career. It was impressed on me by my family during childhood, at high school and university by teachers and the various people who taught me. I think that is why this mentality has stayed with me.
Hi, this is Shadi, and today we will go back and look at the ancient scrolls of the samurais and see the judo techniques that still survive till this day. Some of the best techniques that you will find, some of the most efficient and very popular techniques that you will find in competition today, from beginner to a very high elite level. But before I do that, I just want to say to the patrons, please, there's a new upload. Please go and check it out. And also, if you are interested of becoming a patron, the link will be in the description below for exclusive content. Now, I just want to say that I love how judo is in absolutely everything, from the old days even till, the octagon. If you want to look at the octagon, it's there. If you want to look at street fights, it's there. If you want to look at the police, it's there. If you want to look at the several armies around the world, it is there. So arguably the easiest and best discipline you could ever do in terms of standing and also both on the ground. So today we will look at the book called Unarmed Fighting Techniques of the Samurai, which has a collection of multiple koryus. We're not gonna look at today of the Tenjin Shinryu and Kitto-ryu because they are relatively new to the age of samurai, but we will look at older koryus and still have a lot of the judo techniques that we practice today, particularly Shinden Fudo Ryu. The link for the book will be in the description below as a PDF format for you to enjoy. It is a very long book. So let's start. So first here, let's start with some throws. You see here, like there's like a serenage implication. The other one, you have the arms crossed and really putting pressure on the elbow. And here the final one, again, same thing. You break the elbow, finish with like an ippon serenage. Again, I have talked about serenage very recently. I did a video about it, about the ancient sumo technique, the ippon zeyo. Multiple koryus have it. Until this day, this technique had survived, still being done. With the evolution of the gi, so many variations of it has sprung up, and it's continued to wreak havoc in competition and in self-defense. The ippon serenage, a classical found for maybe thousands of years. The next one, here you see grabbing one hand, grabbing the lapel, the other is grabbing behind the knee, lifting above the shoulders, shoulder wheel or kata guruma. Also very old in the old koryus. The stand-up variation, particularly in sumo, it's called in sumo the bell hammer because it forms like it has a T shape, hence the name. In judo it's called shoulder wheel. So as a principle, anything that rolls on the shoulders, whether it is when you go on the ground or stand up, it is technically kata guruma. Here you see the stand-up variation as it's being done in nage no kata. Absolutely devastating technique. The samurais have done it for centuries basically, and here we see it is still surviving in judo today. Leg grab or no leg grab, you can still do it efficiently. Now let's go to some submissions, particularly the one in the middle. It is 100% in ude garami, targeting the elbow. This is the stretched out arm variation. Let's look at it. Here it's on the ground from Yoko Shio Gatame. Stretch out the arm and you lift the elbow up to create pressure on the arm and create braking mechanism. Here you see it from the mount position. You do it, you lift the elbow up as I just mentioned and get the tap or break it if you are in a battlefield, basically. So again, these are the techniques of the battlefields. Shinden Fudoryu dates back to the 12th century, so you are sure that they have been used in the battlefield. Here is the stand-up variation still being done in Aikido today. You squeeze and lift your elbows up and get the tap. So classical move still being done in high level of competition today. Here you see, this is not your Tenshin Shinryu, that scroll that I've shown multiple times from the 19th century, but rather this is the armbar from the Shinden Fudoryu, again 12th century. This is how old, or at least this is how far back we can trace back your classical armbar being done in multiple schools of Jiu-Jitsu. This is the thing. A different ryuha or koryu doesn't necessarily mean a whole new set of techniques, but this is just, it can be a family lineage, it can be again like a separate lineage, someone separated from their master, they created their own lineage, like Tsunetane Ryu, Kano Ryu, etc. But the techniques doesn't have to necessarily change. They all shared a wide range of techniques, and the armbar, udegarami, hip tosses, seonage are some of the main and popular techniques that these ryuha had shared. Here you see again your classical armbar, very old, samurai days. Now let's continue. Here you see your okuri eri jime, or sliding collar strangle, easily my favorite choke. You see it here being done. One lapel is pulling, one lapel is pushing down. Let's see another variation where you grab the wrist and you slide the collar across the neck to restrict the blood flow and choke someone out. Again, from the old days of the samurai, you can see it being done. Again, okuri eri jime, sliding collar strangler. They done it in the basic form. Now with the whole competition, you see like the rolling bow and arrow, you see Kanto choke, you see Peruvian necktie with the gi, also can still be considered okuri eri jime. You are using the collar to slide it across the neck and create choking, strangles basically. And here you see you have one arm that's pulling and one arm that's pushing down and restricting blood flow and sliding the collar to strangle your opponent or your partner. Again, this is the basic form. You can do it from back mount, you can do it as a rolling bow and arrow, as we call it today in BJJ. Let's continue finally with the wrist locks. Here you see the first one on the left creates compression from the elbow on the wrist, pushing down and pushing up, and the next one is your classical kotegeshi, or here the first one, this is from Mikunsuke Kaweshi's My Method of Self-Defense. You liberate the bear hug, and as you go to the left down, you see the second one as the head. You extend the arm and create pressure on the joint on the wrist. The next one here, you liberate it and create the pressure at the elbow and the wrist. You press against the arm bone of the forearm, just like you saw in the one. And here the renkoho waza, or arresting techniques, again like the same, a little bit similar with the compression, and also found in multiple katas in judo. So this is an interesting search to look at. This is not like I said, your Kitto-ryu search or Tenjin Shinryu, which are literally the parents of judo, the parent schools of judo. You are bound to look in their techniques and find the stuff that we do in judo, because this is what Kano sensei had studied. But here to look at Shinden Fudoryu, which is one of the ancestors of Bartetsu, you can find some of the most popular techniques being practiced from all ryuha, self-defense, battlefield, so on and so forth. This is a never-ending search. It's amazing how something like the okuri eri jime being done in such like from so old ago and still surviving as a technique, and also being done in such high-level competition. Imagine if Kano did not really create this very academic and very clear program. Imagine all these techniques just wiped out and gone, and we laugh at, we ridicule when we look at old schools of jiu-jitsu when they do their kata and they're doing their kiai and shouting. because there's no sparring, and we tend to ridicule them while they are literally the giants that we stand on their shoulders. So I'm so glad to do these types of research. And again, the book will be down in the description below. You can download it as a PDF file. So if you have anything else to add, let me know down below. Consider supporting me on Patreon, and please don't forget to check out Josh Simon's shop. The link will be in the description below. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.